Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this MSI GF75 thin. This is, it's scraped off, but I believe it's 10SCSXR-448US. Alright, there's a bunch of other numbers, but we're going to go with that. Alright, we're going to be using a JIS1 or J1 screwdriver to remove all the screws from the bottom. Alright, they can be different size, shape, and length, so you want to keep them in order. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So we got one there. There's one hidden underneath this factory seal that we need to break. Okay, so make sure to open that up. Oh, it's stuck in there. Come on, there we go. 2, 3. This one has a broken charge port, so we're going to be replacing the charge port. And hopefully we got the right part because we did it based off the model number. Usually it's best to kind of open up the computer and then see what it looks like inside. All right. Also, this has a little battery reset hole here. So there's a little hole right there that you can press with a little pin or folded out paper clip. If for some reason your computer's not powering on properly or having some weird issues, you can try pressing that button in there for about 15 seconds and then see if it fixes the problem. All right. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It really depends what happened to the computer. Okay, so I stopped counting the screws, but that's 8 so far. Okay, and then there's 4 more down here. So you got 3 here, 1 on either side, 3 more here, and then 4 down here. Okay, so far all these screws do appear to look about the same length. So yeah, if you do happen to mix them up, you'll probably be okay, but it's best to try and avoid mixing them up. All right. If this video helps you out, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Other than that, let's go ahead and continue popping this open. So we got this piece that we need to pop and separate. So here you can see it doesn't come up easily. Let's see how we can pop this one out. So usually I'll get my fingernails in a gap here, and then we'll either have to pull from the top palm rest area or from the bottom here. And it looks like I can actually push my fingernails in there, so you can use like a plastic pry tool to kind of just get in there. You can see now we have that popped up. I'm going to pull up slightly here, and then I'm going to run my fingernail along the side here as well to pop that out. Okay, then we're going to go along this side as well and do the same thing. So pull that up. Okay, and then run your fingernail along the side there. You want to be very careful here because the headphone jacks do stick out into this bottom cover, and if you try and just pry up from this side, you're going to end up ripping those out, so you want to be very careful. Oh, it looks like they have some broken plastic here, so let's see if that's going to fall out. Nope, it stays in. Okay, anyways, we're going to have to lift from this side, the side without the headphone jacks, because the other one, it's going to have to swing over. Okay, so we're going to lift that. We're going to go around here. I'm going to push down here slightly and then find the gap. Okay, there's the gap here, and I'm going to run my fingernail along there, and you can see we can pop that out. Oh, it sounds like the plastic's kind of brittle and falling apart, but we're going to continue running along here to try and pop the rest of this up. Okay, oh, I can't see here. All right, so we're going to go along that and pop those clips out as well. And now we can lift this and slide it over this way. Okay, so you can see the headphone jacks and also the USB-C port sticks out over there. Okay, so it is kind of dusty in here. I'm gonna have to take this out and clean it up and get rid of all those broken little plastic bits. We don't want them rolling around in here. So basically the way I clean the fans is I just take a toothbrush, I hold here, and then I brush this as I hold it, so that way it has a little pressure for it to push that out of the way. And then I use an electric air blower to just blow through the vents here and here. Okay, and that way I can blow the dust out. It also helps to kind of hold the fan, so if any big ball of dust comes out, it won't get in the blades and rip those off. So you want to make sure to hold on to that. All right, so I'm gonna just brush all around here, and then I'm gonna blow the dust out, and yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, so we cleaned it out, cleaned all the bottom cover. All right, we also cleaned out in here. All right, some of the stuff kind of stuck, but this is what it looks like. All right, we're gonna go over quickly what we see inside here. I'm not gonna be pulling everything out. We mainly need to lift the whole motherboard up to redo the thermal paste. And oh no, I didn't realize we're gonna have to actually also pull the heatsink out, so I guess I'm gonna have to redo the thermal paste on this one. Okay, and the reason being is they hide a screw underneath the heatsink here. So, all right, first things first, we're gonna pull the battery connector out. Okay, so we're gonna disconnect the battery here. This is in the way, the speaker, so let me see, do I need to peel this up? Okay, so this cable is held down with some adhesive here, so let's go ahead and peel that up. I'm going to use this little plastic tool just to pick underneath and peel it away. Okay. Alright, there we go. So we'll peel this up. And there we go. And then we can go ahead and move this cable out of the way. So you can see it comes out pretty easily. The speakers, they're just held in with rubber, so you can lift them up easily, but we're just gonna leave that there. Okay, battery connector is right here. We're gonna have to remove that. It's gonna be a pain. Let me see if I can show you this. And also the battery is held in with adhesive, so if you need to get it out, you actually have to pry underneath and slowly pull it up. So keep that in mind. It's kind of a pain. I'm not going to do that because we don't need to take that out. All right, so I'm going to use my fingernails at the edges here and see if we can wiggle this connector to walk it out. You can see it's kind of wiggling. All right, and we're just going to keep wiggling it, and it should eventually walk its way out. All right, so keep wiggling, 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 and there we go. All right, so now we have the battery disconnected. After disconnecting the battery, it's always a good idea to actually open up the laptop and then press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds. So we're gonna slowly, carefully open the screen. Okay, and then we gotta press and hold the power button here for at least 15 seconds. So let's do that. All right, drain any residual power. Oh no, I have someone calling me, so I can't see how long. Okay, we're gonna hold it for about 10 more seconds. All right, some people ask if this is required. It's only 15 seconds, just do it. It can save you like hundreds to thousands of dollars depending how much your computer is worth and your data and everything. So 15 seconds is very little to kind of more ensure that, okay? You got the fan connector, one fan connector here, another fan connector here. You got all the ports are soldered to the motherboard, logic board, whatever you want to call it. I call it a logic board because the CPU and GPU are soldered. This is the GPU, this is the CPU. They're both soldered to the motherboard or logic board again. Then you got the LCD LVDS connector right here. If you're gonna mess with this, very important, disconnect the battery, press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds, all right? If you don't, again, you can fry your motherboard, you can fry the backlight circuit, you can fry the cables, you can fry your screen. Just take that 15 seconds, all right? Disconnect the battery and do that. All right, we're gonna flip this latch up, and then we can go ahead and get this cable out. We are gonna have to undo all the adhesive, it looks like, but pull that up slightly. You gotta pull this slightly up and then pull that back, okay? All right, let's go ahead and peel this out. Oh, this adhesive sucks, it's all tearing. We're most likely just going to get rid of all this adhesive or just leave it in place, but it's not gonna really stick back down well after peeling it up. And this adhesive thing is just tearing to little bits, so kind of annoying. All right, there we go, peel that up. And get under here and peel this up as well. Okay, just like this. All right, that works. And we're gonna have to peel it out of the way, wiggle it and peel it off the cable. All right. All right, then we got this one. We're gonna peel this. Oops, sorry, we're going out of view. I don't know if you even saw the other one. So basically I just did this to peel it up, slowly working my way all the way to the end. Hold this cable down and then peel this out as well, okay? Now that we've got all of that, we should be able to pull this cable out. Let's go ahead and peel this out as well. Oops, I stuck the adhesive to itself. All right, so we're gonna peel this and peel this off the cable. Just like that. Okay, there we go. And can we pull this out. Let's see, we might have to lift this over. Let's pull the RAM stick out. So pull these two tabs to the side, pops up, and we got the RAM stick out. This is a, I hate this type of RAM. They don't tell you, so you'd have to look up like this. Come on, focus. Why isn't it focusing? Focus here. Okay, so you'd have to look up. Come on. Yeah, I don't know why my phone's not focusing, but it doesn't want to. Let me see here. Okay, so we'd have to look up this MS1 or MSI 32D4S2S1ME-8. I don't know. It's this Kingston RAM. They also have this number there that maybe, but this definitely looks like, excuse me, DDR4 or PC4 RAM. So should be okay with any DDR4 or PC4 RAM. I'm going to set that aside, and let's see if we can now get this over the slot area here. Okay, this adhesive is in the way, and see if we can lift this out. It looks like we might have to actually lift the heatsink before we can even get this cable out. What a stupid design. Okay, I don't know. Very dumb design. So I guess we're gonna have to remove the heatsink first. All right, here's the little reset battery button that I was talking about earlier that you can press through the bottom of the case. You got the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery here. You got an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD here. One screw, it pops up slightly and you can pull it out just like the stick of RAM. All right, there is a SATA port here for a 2.5-inch SATA drive. You can put a 2.5-inch SATA SSD here. It doesn't seem to come with a bracket, so if you do put something there, you might want to maybe use an SSD with some double stick adhesive. All right, give me a second. I'm getting some customers calling. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't even remember where I left off, but let's go ahead and disconnect the wireless card. I'm going to avoid removing the antennas if possible, because sometimes the soldering on the wireless antennas is not very good. So unless I really need to remove it, I try to avoid doing that. All right, so we're going to take this screw out. Once we do that, we got to lift this slightly up, and then we're going to pull this back. I'm going to use this part here, so we're going to wiggle and pull that back, and there we go. We could remove that without disconnecting the antennas. All right, the antennas, one is going down here, and it's right there, that copper piece. Then the other one is going down there, and it connects there to that copper piece with that little board there. Okay, you got the keyboard connector is, oh, am I gonna have to remove the battery? Are you serious? Are you serious? Okay, they put the battery on top of the motherboard here, and then you got these pieces for the keyboard and stuff underneath. So we are going to have to pry the motherboard or the battery out. This is a real huge pain. This is the stupidest design. Okay, again, this battery is held in with adhesive. There's actually a foam adhesive in the middle back there. So let's see how we can get this out. I'm gonna get this out and move that out of the way. And it looks like there's kind of a more solid piece here that we can kind of get under. I'm gonna just slide this under, and I'm gonna just pull on this to lift it up, and slowly, again, you don't want to just rip it out right away. I'm just slowly pulling up on this. You can also kind of go from here and just slowly, carefully work your way under and pull it up. And you want to very slowly do this, okay? It takes like a constant pressure where like you can kind of just lift the laptop like this and let it slowly kind of pull on it. All right, if you want, you can also try using some isopropyl alcohol, but I'm gonna push down on this plastic area with my thumb, and I'm gonna slowly continue pulling up. Okay, and wow, this thing is stuck in there super strong. So let's see, do I need to put some isopropyl alcohol anywhere in there? My worry is that they also stuck the keyboard connector to it. I hope not, because that'll be very bad. I'm going to use a little dripper here, and I'm going to try putting a little isopropyl alcohol in this little gap down here. Okay. Get a little isopropyl alcohol down there, and let's see if we can kind of get underneath. Okay, and we're gonna get underneath, and we're gonna try and pull this up. Wow, this is not... Okay, you can see it lifted up slightly. I'm gonna lift this. Be careful with the speaker there. And we can actually see underneath here. And it's actually looking like, okay, the keyboard cable isn't attached to that, so that's good. But I do see the adhesive down in there. Okay, you can actually see, oh, it's separating right now a little bit. Was this peeled up before? I don't know. Actually, no, that's the sticker. So I see the little sticker label down there. It's peeling away. So I'm gonna have to use this to get in there and try and peel it back. Okay, I'm gonna get that, and I'm just gonna wiggle it around in there to kind of get the adhesive away. Slowly working my way into there. And yeah, this is a terrible design. Okay, we got that part of the label off, away from there. Now we gotta work on this side. So this side also has the adhesive here, and I'm gonna try and peel that away. It's slowly peeling away. I don't know if actually, okay, this is part of the sticker, so I'm gonna separate the sticker from the label. I don't know if you can see, but you'll see what I mean when I get the battery out. So we almost got it out, and I gotta be careful because I don't want to drop the laptop. Obviously, it would help if you have another person helping hold the laptop up so you don't risk dropping it. But okay, got most of it. I'm gonna pull a little bit more and continue prying this out. You can probably put a little isopropyl alcohol down there in that gap there to release it. Let me see. I'm gonna put some isopropyl alcohol on here, okay? And then we're gonna get it down there and see if we can use that to help release it. And you want to be careful because there's a lot of cables back there. Oh, this is being a pain. Still doesn't want to come out. Oh, there we go. We're almost there. I'm leaning it towards my hand so that way it doesn't just fall down. Okay, pulling this back. Okay, we got one side out, and okay, the other side. There we go. So here we go. We got the battery out, and what was happening was it was peeling this label away from the battery. Okay, on both sides. You can actually see where it was pulling and putting some pressure here. Okay, so yeah, battery model is right here, BTY-M6K. I don't know if you can even read that. BTY-M6K. That's the battery model. And if you're replacing it, make sure you put it back right. Make sure you have the reds going towards the RAM slots, and then the black wires going towards the outside of the laptop. All right, we're gonna set the battery aside. That was a huge pain. Okay, you can see the keyboard cable here, keyboard backlight cable here, and then you have the touchpad trackpad cable there. All right, we're gonna move the speakers back here. Oops, that's upside down. Okay, we're gonna reattach this here. Yeah, this laptop's gonna be a huge pain. Okay, you got the speaker connector here. Let me zoom in a little bit to show you this. All right, and it looks like we're gonna have to redo the thermal paste and everything. So I'm gonna grab the wings of the connector and just wiggle to pull it out. There we go. Okay, the SSD and stuff I'm gonna leave there because we don't need to remove it. Let's go ahead now, and I don't know if I need to remove the fans completely at all or not, but let's go ahead and undo the screws here. Okay, so keep track of all these screws. Again, there are several of them. They are different size, shape, and lengths. So we got one here, we got another one over here, and then we got another one up here. Also, these are numbered for use with the heatsink, it looks like. There's a 1 here, a 3 here, a 5 here. So, very interesting that they use that as well. When you remove them, it doesn't really matter the order you undo them. So, yeah, just make sure you keep track of all the screws so you can put them back later. Number 2, number 3, Sorry, I'm just counting the screws. I'm not saying the order. All right. There's 4 more on this, or actually there's only 2 on this side, interesting, and then 1 over here. So the CPU, they didn't put 4 screws, they only put 3. Okay, then we got this one. Alright, are they hiding some screws under here that I didn't see? No? Okay. Got 1 screw on this side. I don't know if there's any other hidden ones, but let's see. It feels like it's held down. Oh, there's 1 more here. Don't forget that screw. Okay. Alright, let's see now. Can we lift this slightly? Okay, and usually the heat sinks, they get held down really strong because of the thermal pads and the paste hardens. So usually what you gotta do is you gotta kind of wiggle it side to side. Let's actually pop the fan connectors out. Let me see if I can show this. Alright, so I just get my fingernails at the edges of the white part of the connector, and I just kind of wiggle and pull it out, just like that. We got it on both sides, so we're gonna do the same thing. Also take note of the color of the wires. Which direction it's going, so you don't put the connector in backwards. Okay, on this one the red wire is going towards the RAM slot, and on this one I guess the red is also going towards the RAM slot downwards, but there you go. Okay, let's zoom out here. Now we're gonna have to pop this heatsink up. So again, sometimes it helps to wiggle it side to side, like rotate it, twist it this way, and that helps kind of loosen up any of the stuck thermal paste. Alright, oh, it looks like there's also a screw up here. Don't forget this one, kind of hidden. Very strange spot to have a screw, but for the heatsink, but okay. There we go. Okay, should be able to wiggle it more. Alright, don't wiggle it from here, because that's a little risky unless you know what you're doing. It's easier to do side to side from this. Don't try and pull up and down, because you can bend these pipes. And then we're going to go from these more solid grayish silver colored areas, and we're going to pull up from there. Okay, so we're going to go from here, and I'm just pulling up. I'm going to push down with my thumb here and pull up, and it seems really stuck, so we're going to have to very carefully just pull very slow all around. Okay, there's another area down here in this corner, and we're just carefully, slowly pulling on it to release. There you go. Okay, you can see now it's coming up. If it doesn't come out, you might have to keep working your way all around. Okay, but you can see it's coming up now. We're gonna now lift this up and get this cable out if we can. Okay, and be very gentle here. There we go. All right, so now we got that up. You want to be careful. There's all the thermal pads here that are kind of in the way, so we're gonna now carefully pull this up. Is there something else holding it down? I don't see anything, so we're gonna try and pull from this area here because it's kind of stuck there for some reason. I don't see a screw holding it there. Oh, okay, so the plastic clip here is kind of hitting it, so you have to pull this out a little bit, and then now I can lift this up. All right, then we're gonna kind of grab more holding from the sides here like this. Same thing, pull this plastic tab out of the way. All right, and carefully wiggle and lift. Pull that out, and there we go. All right, so here we have the heatsink out. You can see the thermal paste and the pads. We are gonna just reuse the pads, but we're gonna clean up this paste and put some new paste. All right, so we'll set that aside. For now, I'm gonna clean up this. We're gonna just use some paper towel to clean it up. What I'll actually do, I got a piece of paper towel here. Okay, so what I'll actually do is I'll use this thing to scrape off the majority, and then we'll use the paper towel to clean it. So let me show you that. Basically, you just go up here, and we're gonna scrape off most of it, okay? Just like this. just like that. Okay. Then we'll wipe this off and we'll just continue. Scrape off what we can. Also, it helps to do this over the trash can upside down, so that way you don't have to worry about the stuff falling into the motherboard. Alright. Clean that off. Alright. Clean off the CPU as well. Get all of that. And you can see how it's all flaky instead of a paste. That means the paste is actually going bad. Okay. This stuff is supposed to be like a paste. Like in the middle here, you can see this is actually pasty. That's good. Okay. So now that we got that, we're gonna fold up the paper towel a little bit and we're just gonna wipe it. Okay. You can see it's pretty clean now. We're gonna have to use isopropyl rubbing alcohol to clean it up better. But for now, we're just gonna wipe off this. And I might have to use a toothbrush to get between these little pieces here. But yeah, usually it's best to hold it upside down over a trash can. But yeah, you can like brush it off like this. You can see, and it comes out. So let me do that. Also, the heat sink is a lot easier. You can just scrape that off for the most part and then clean it with the paper towel. Let's see. Just like that. Okay. I'll scrape off this as well. Look at all that gunk stuck to it. Alright, so I'm going to clean this up the rest of the way, and then I'll see you guys later. We're going to clean this with the paper towel, and then also a little isopropyl rubbing alcohol. Okay, you can see how much gunk comes off. Guess we might as well do this part on camera. The other part I have to do over a trash can, so I can't really record, but clean that. Be careful not to bend the thermal pipes. Okay, you can see how gross that is. We're gonna need more paper. Do this again. Okay. There you go, it's a lot better. We'll set this aside. All right, let me clean up the CPU and GPU dies and I'll be back. All right, so I'm back. You can see we got the thing all cleaned up. Let's go ahead and remove the remaining screws, pull the board out, and then hopefully we can solder the new charge port in. This is the new charge port that we got, okay? The design does look a little different. There's like missing some, oops, sorry. It's missing a little bit of plastic here compared to this one. But hopefully all the pins line up and then we should be good. So let's go ahead and take this board out. We got one screw here. That's the hidden one I was referring to. Okay, and that might be the only screw that was hidden. We're gonna have to be very careful because we got these cables attached down here. So let's zoom out and see about getting those out. Okay, so we're gonna carefully lift from this side. Okay, again, there's the plastic in the way, so you do got to pull that back. We're going to carefully rotate this and lift it slightly. We don't want to just crease onto the keyboard and touchpad and everything. And we're going to flip this over. And here you can see all the connectors. So we got the touchpad connector here. We're going to flip that latch up and then that pops out. Got this connector. These are like slide out, so you pull the 2 tabs down. Let me actually, I don't know if I can zoom in enough because the stuff is in the way here. Let me see what I can do. Okay, so you got that. There's this latch, you pull both sides down. Once you do that, you can pull this back. Okay, and then same thing with the keyboard connector. It has these little slide latches on both sides, so I'll just go like back and forth till it's completely out, and then we can go ahead and pull that out. All right, those are probably going to be a pain to put back, but there we go, we got this. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to put it on ESD bag. Okay, so we got this bag. All right. Okay, and we'll set that aside. Okay. Oh, actually, I didn't need to set that aside. That's what I need to work on. So we're gonna clean this up a little, just get the dust out. Customer's messaging me, so I'm gonna have to respond back, but we're gonna set this aside. This is, let me zoom out here. So much. Okay, so this is the keyboard assembly and everything. Also, if we look under here, it's held in place with melted plastic, so if you're replacing the keyboard, it's going to be a lot easier to replace the whole palm rest assembly instead of just the keyboard itself. Okay, speakers are easy to remove. Touchpad looks like it's probably held in with some adhesive. This is melted plastic holding this in place. So again, if you're replacing the touchpad or the keyboard, replace the whole keyboard assembly. To remove the screen, there's these 6 screws. Usually what you do is you open up the thing about 90 degrees, take the 6 screws out here, and then you can drop the whole palm rest down. All right, but I'm gonna leave this in place, so we're gonna close this up and set this aside, and then we're gonna bring out the motherboard or logic board to pull the charge port out. So this is the charge port here, and I'm probably gonna have to do this off camera, but I'm gonna use a hot air soldering station to heat up here, and I'm going to slowly pull this down while I'm heating that. We do have to remove this piece because this foam thing is just going to melt. I don't know why they have that foam there, but they do. So let's see if we can pick at it to remove it. Okay, I'm just going to get under here and slowly work at this. Okay, and hopefully once we peel enough of it, we can, nope, okay, I don't think you can peel the whole thing at once, so probably just gonna have to slowly pick at it and then peel it up little by little until we can move it out of the way. I kind of just gotta move it maybe up till here. Okay, so I'm gonna just pick at the bottom of that to kind of slowly peel it up. Keep picking at it, just like this. Okay. All right. You can see it's slowly peeling away. If you lose this or destroy this foam piece, you probably won't have any issues. I don't know why they have it here, to be honest, but we're going to try and keep it intact if we can. Okay. Up. Keep peeling that up. All right, and I'm gonna just fold this out of the way and stick it down there, and hopefully that will stay out of the way. All right, again, what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna get like a cardboard box, raise it up slightly, use a hot air station to heat this, and then pull that out. And then I'll be back to show you guys when I put this, or once I have this completely removed. Let's go ahead and actually take a look at the replacement one just to see. And okay, so it has this big one and then the 2 smaller ones. So when this goes in, it should line up exactly the same, so we should be good. Okay, so I'm gonna go get a cardboard box and a hot air soldering station to heat up around this area, plop that out. pull the solder out of these holes, and then I'll be back to show you guys soldering in a new charge port. All right, yeah, so I'll see you guys then. Bye for now. Alright, so here's the hot air station, and I heated it, pulled this out. As you can see, one leg's broken off and that tail thing is broken off, so we're gonna have to see about getting those out. Most likely I can heat it with the soldering iron and then pull them out with these pliers. But yeah, there's the old one ripped out. Also, the foam seems fine, and I forgot to mention here, so on the back they have this is the light for the power button, and then you can see the power button is on the back of the motherboard. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go switch over to the soldering iron, and then hopefully I can record that for you guys to see. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but I'll try. Alright, I'm back. So I'm gonna attempt to show this. The problem is, part of this I have to use this solder sucker thing, and I have to hang this over the edge of my desk. Alright, so I can't really record that part, but basically I heat that up, and then this thing, it has like a quickly pulls air back to create a suction here, and then that helps pull the hot solder away. And yeah, but what I'm going to do first, that I can actually show you, is on the bottom here. Okay, you can see this piece got stuck in there, and then this metal piece, sorry, those two pieces got stuck. So that goldenish colored one, and then those two got stuck in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat that up, and then I'm going to show you guys removing that. Alright, oh, one of the thermal pads actually came up, so let me try and put that back. And this thermal pad, there's only memory on one of these spots, so this board actually is designed to have 3 memory chips here. Okay, oops, sorry, 3 memory chips here, but there's only one, so it's all stuck to just that one area. Okay, let me see if I can pull it from the top so it's easier for you guys to see here, because then you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna heat, it looks like I can grab from here, so that will probably work okay. Alright, let me clean off my soldering iron. Okay, and see if we can heat it enough to pull this up. So I'm gonna grab this piece, and we're just gonna heat right there. And normally I should be heating from the other side, so there we go, that came out. Alright, and there you go. Alright, then we got this little one. Let's see, can I bend it a little bit? Okay, let me see what the other side looks like, because I'm gonna heat it from the bottom in this case. Looks like I can do it, we'll see. Probably not. Let me see, because I have to add some solder to that or it's not going to come out. So I'm going to flip it over and we're going to remove it this way. Okay, it's from the center of the board. So what's going to happen is I need to actually heat this up here and apply some new solder. Flow some more solder into there. Okay. Alright, now while we got some new solder on there, I'm going to grab that piece that's stuck. I'm going to heat it and pull it down. Oh, it's hard to grab that, it's a very thin piece. And there's not much room either. Okay. And come on. It's gripping in there somehow, because definitely all the solder is melted, but somehow, oh, there we go. Okay, so we got that piece out. All right, now I'm gonna have to use the solder sucker to get the rest of the solder out, and then I'll be back to show you the cleaned up charge port. All right, see you guys in a bit. Alright, so we tried to clean it up best we could. You can see the 2 small holes towards the back. Couldn't get all of it out. So what I'm going to try and do is heat it up as I push the charge port through, and hopefully it'll go. And then we just got to apply more solder. So let's see if I can get that on camera for you guys. Alright, so I flipped it over because I need to heat it from this side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the charge port in place, and we're going to try and heat those 2 pins back there up. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to apply some solder back there, and then as we're pushing it in, hopefully it'll go through. So let's apply the solder back there first, and then we're going to have to heat both those sides at the same time. Okay, so get that. Right, so we got the solder there. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more for you guys to see, and hopefully that'll be visible. Hopefully it'll go through as well, because this is going to be tough. Okay, so I'm going to hold this, and I'm going to try and heat both at the same time. And it's going up slightly. There we go. So it pushed all the way through. This side is actually a little bit further down. Okay, so now we got those 2 smaller pins in. Okay, I'm going to heat them up a bit more and just push a bit more to make sure. I'm also going to apply some flux on there to make sure that the solder sticks to it. Okay, let's look at the other side here. Alright, and it looks good. It's all in place. These ones are all down. This one's a little bit not quite, but as we heat it, we should be able to pull it up and get that into place as well. Okay, so oops, let's get this back lined up here for you guys to see. Okay, and we're gonna now heat this and get this in place. Solder on there. Okay, so now while we're heating that, we can pull this up, and there we go. And I'm going to add some flux to all of these because I feel like it's not making completely solid connection. So we're going to add a little bit of the flux stuff here. From my understanding, what this does is it kind of eats away the corrosion that's on it, like oxidation, and then it allows it to, the solder to flow onto the components better. I could be wrong, but it helps stick the solder better. That's all you need to know. Okay, the flux on there as well, and you can actually use this by putting the flux there and then just touch solder without flux in it to it, and it'll basically just stick into the components because of the oxidation layer it removes. Okay, so again, correct me if I'm wrong if that's not how it works, but alright. So the way that works so well is you can actually put solder directly onto the iron, which normally you don't do that because the smoke that comes off is actually the flux that's inside. But since we put flux there, you can see we just touch it to there and it all flows into place. And now that we got that in place, we can heat that, and while we're heating it, we'll push the solder into the area around it. Okay. Come on. This piece takes a lot of heat to warm up, so that's why it's hard to solder it, but there we go. Okay, so you go, that's all soldered in. We're gonna now melt this where the flux is and get that to flow in, get this to flow in. And you don't want these pins to connect to each other, so make sure that the flux is actually staying, or not the flux, but the solder, it's not connecting and merging into one ball. That's very important, okay? Get more solder. Again, I'm just gonna put it onto the soldering iron since we put the flux ahead of time. Burn off the flux that's in there, and then we're just gonna touch it to this. And you can see the solder just flows right into there. I'm gonna now burn off the excess flux and melt it to get a solid connection. All right. Oh, try not to inhale that. It's toxic. All right. Get a little bit more of the flux here. And then one more blob of solder and we should be good. Okay. Okay. So I just got solder onto the soldering iron, and now we're just going to touch it onto here, and it should jump over. Oh, did I get the wrong side? There we go. There you go. And you can see the solder just jumps onto it. And I'm going to heat it so it kind of goes onto the pin and all around. And there we go. All right. Turn off the soldering iron, and we're going to have to clean that up with some isopropyl alcohol. Okay. And what I'm doing now is I'm going to, I believe it's called tinning the tip of the soldering iron. I don't know why. Okay. But anyways, we'll solder or clean that up, and then we'll just get the solder melted onto here, and that'll kind of protect the soldering iron for the future. Okay, so didn't coat it completely properly, but there we go. All right, so we're gonna clean this up now using some isopropyl alcohol and paper towel again. All right, so if you want, you can use a dripper, or you can just put the isopropyl alcohol directly onto the paper towel, but I'm going to drip some there, and then we're going to just use the paper towel and clean it off. And you should see that orangey brown stuff go away. Okay, clean this side up as well, and over here. And you want to make sure to wash your hands really well after handling this stuff as well. All right, you can see there. I'm going to tear off that piece, and then we're going to clean it again. Alright, let's put some more. Clean that off. Let's put a little bit here. Okay, clean that all up. Also clean the area around it a little bit. I'll get a little isopropyl alcohol on the paper towel itself and clean up the area around it. If you get paper towel bits kind of sticking on the stuff, oops, sorry, I'm going out of view. Just use a toothbrush and brush it off. And there you go. It looks all nice and clean. All right, let's take a look at the other side. I might need a little more solder on this one. Actually, no, it went through to the other side, so we should be good. So if you look at the other side here, you can actually see the solder went all the way up and through. So we should be good. All right, and I'm gonna clean it a little bit over here to see if I can get some of that flux out. Okay, it's harder to get in this area, but just clean it a little bit. All right, and now it's all clean. So let's go ahead and reassemble this. Give me a second, I'm gonna move stuff out of the way, and then I'll be back. All right, see you guys in a bit. And don't forget to put this thing back. Again, I don't think it really does anything, but we're just gonna fold it back out and stick that back on there. Okay. I don't know. There we go. Good enough. All right, and there you go. There's the close-up. Looks good. All right, we're back. Let's go ahead and put this thing back together. So we'll grab this. Okay. Get this. And, all right. The tricky part, We got to get all these things reconnected before we put it back in. So first one we're going to do is the backlight. Make sure to pull these two tabs down, and then we're going to grab this cable, shove it in there, make sure that you hold it in all the way. Okay, let's see here. Oh. There's also this rigid brown plastic part on the back here. Let me see if I can get a better close-up for you guys of this process. Okay. All right, so we got that, and then there's the rigid brown part tab on the back, and I use that to help push the cable in. So once you get it in, my finger is now actually pushing on that rigid tab, and then while we're doing that, you gotta pull this back in. It helps to have another hand, but do that. Okay, so pull both tabs. There we go. Okay, next we got the keyboard connector. So same idea. Flips over upside down. Make sure this goes in all the way. Pull these tabs out. Okay, you want to make sure it's in all the way because you're not going to want to have to take this thing apart again. Okay, pull those two tabs in, pinch it. There we go. And then the let me actually get the speaker out of the way. Okay, flip this over again, and the last one is the touchpad cable, which again has this flip latch. And we're going to rotate it over. Again, you can use the rigid blue plastic tab to help guide it. And pull that in and then flip that latch down. It's very important you don't break those tabs off because those tabs actually do help with it seating in place. If those tabs are missing, the cable won't be thick enough and it actually won't even make a connection to the motherboard. We're gonna have to hold and move all these wires out of the way. Oops, sorry. So make sure that you pull the wireless card up and out and the speaker cables and everything. You don't want those trapped underneath. Okay, we're gonna carefully guide this back into place, make sure it's all lined up. If there's any of these plastic things that were holding it, keeping it from coming out, make sure that's out of the way. Okay, so now we got this. You can see all these cables are here. Good. Be careful not to crease those cables too much because you can damage them that way. We're gonna now pull the speaker connector up, and pretty straightforward, just guide it into place and pinch it so it goes straight in. Okay, I don't remember if this wire was on top or on bottom. It technically doesn't really matter. But we'll get this out and line that up. All right, so I don't remember if this speaker wire was on top of the wireless card or underneath. Most likely it was on top. Okay, then we're gonna get this line back up. Oops, I left the screw in there, so let's take that back out. Okay, we're gonna get this, pull it back, line it up, and then pinch this back in. All right, there we go. Get that down. And get this in. All right, tighten that down and put this tape back on top. Good. All right, then we had the one motherboard screw over here that was hidden by the heatsink. Honestly, I feel if you don't put this screw back, you'd be fine, and then it would make it easier if you need to take the motherboard out in the future. But that's how they designed it. Okay. Let's see here. Is there anything here I need to worry about? Okay, so we got all of that. Next thing, we got all the heatsink screws and everything. Let's go ahead and see. We're gonna put the heatsink back, but we do need to put thermal paste here first. So let's grab some thermal paste. Let me see, do I have any left in the tube? Give me a second, let me go grab one and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I'm kind of running out of thermal paste. I might need to buy some more soon, but anyways, let's go ahead and zoom in here. So, because these things are rectangular like that, we are going to be, let me clean this out a little bit. Okay, clean that off. We're going to be making kind of like a wide rice grain thing kind of shape. Okay, so let's go ahead and plop some out. This one might actually be almost empty. Yeah, this one might be pretty much empty. So I'm gonna plop out a little bit here. Okay. Is there more in this tube? Just a little bit more. Okay. Just a bit more, but not enough. Okay. So I'm gonna toss this one, and we're gonna start with the new one. So we gotta make a blob here in a line. Alright, just like this. And this stuff, the heatsink flattens it out quite a bit, so you actually don't need a crazy amount. People like to put a whole bunch that it overflows out everywhere. You don't need it to do that, okay? So we're gonna get this all the way up here. Maybe a little bit more. Even this might be quite a bit. Okay, so basically we're making a slender line that goes all the way and leaving a little bit, and it will smush out like an oval, and it will spread itself. The reason why I do it this way is because any air bubbles will be pushed out towards the outside. All right, so we got the CPU as well. We're gonna do the same thing. This one's a bit thinner, so we actually don't need as much. Like that, and that's actually plenty. That's actually more than enough. A lot more than enough. Okay, just like this. Okay, so kind of just spread it so it's like a lump in the center. Okay, let's take a look. It's a little bit more to one side than the other, so let's spread it a little more this way. There we go. All right, so there you go. That's what it looks like there and there. Let's zoom back out, and we're gonna get the heatsink back on top, and then we should be just about ready to test and power it up. Okay, so make sure you put it the right way. Also make sure you have all the little thermal pads there. This is gonna go this way. We have to thread the LCD LVDS cable back through here, so make sure you do that. Okay. Oh wait, how was it going here? Oh, so it's going up on top. I almost threaded it the wrong way. Okay, then we'll get this back down through here. Again, be very careful with this cable. Alright, just like that. And we'll slowly drop it into place. Okay. Let that go in, just like that. And then this side. This side, let that go in like that. Get the fan connector and click that in. Get this fan connector and click that in. Alright, make sure to get this cable back in. This one can be a little tricky. Okay. Get that in and then latch that down. All right, also there was that little bit of tape there, so make sure to lift that back up. Okay, oh, it's going underneath. Make sure that stays out on top. All right, then we got this upper part that needs to go back in. Again, you have to pull the plastic back so it can fall in on both sides. Perfect. Okay, so I can actually feel it pushing the thermal paste down. So now when we screw these in, the numbers are important. So there's a 2 here, 4 here, there's a 6, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 1 here, 3, 5, and what's that? That one I think isn't numbered. All right, so we're gonna start with number 1 right here, and I'm gonna twist it backwards until, let's see here, usually I want to hear it click like that, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we got screw number 1. Now we got screw number 2 all the way down here. So we'll take that, click, 1, 2, 3. All right, screw number 3 all the way over here. Take this one, click, 1, 2, 3. Screw number 4. Okay, right here. Click, 1, 2, 3. Screw number 5 all the way down here. Okay, same thing. Click, 1, 2, 3. Screw number 6 over here. Okay, click, 1, 2, 3. Screw number 7 is up here. Click, 1, 2, 3. Screw number 8 down here. Click, 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Screw number 9 here. All right. Click, 1, 2, 3. Number 10 is down here. 1, 2, 3. 11 is over here. 1, 2, 3. 12 is over here. 1, 2, 3, and I guess we'll count this as 13. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now we're just going to go again all the way. 1, 2, 3 on screw number 1, and it goes all the way, so we're just going to tighten it all the way down. Screw number 2, we'll tighten that all the way down. Screw number 3, tighten that all the way down. Screw number 4, tighten that all the way down. Number 5, tighten that all the way down. Number 6, tighten that all the way down. Okay, number 7, tighten that all the way down. Number 8, tighten that all the way down. Number 9, tighten this all the way down. Sorry if my head's getting in the way. Number 10, get that all the way down. Okay, 11, get that all the way down. 12, that one all the way down. And 13, all the way down. All right, so now we got all those screws back in. Let's get the RAM back into place. So we'll get that in. Again, I don't know what the speed of that RAM is, but DDR4 for sure. I'm gonna flip this latch up, double check the connection here. Okay. Okay, get that all lined up again. Alright, make sure that's good and in place. And latch that down. Perfect. Again, sorry if my head's in the way. Alright. Then we got this cable here that goes under. Make sure these pieces of tape go up. Okay, so we had that. Tape that one down. This one. Tape that one down. And then this one just goes over here. It wasn't, as far as I remember, it wasn't even going under there because you can't even push it there. So we'll get that and we'll tape that down. Okay, just like that. What else do we got here? So we got everything reassembled now. Now we got to get the battery back in. I believe that's all. Hopefully we're not missing anything. Okay, so this cable, flip it over. I'm gonna line up the battery connection here. All right, and pinch that to pull it in. All right, now the battery's live, so be very careful working on this. Line up the corner edge here, and then the corner edge down here, and you can go ahead and stick that back down. All right, and this was just a piece of tape here holding this. Okay. Okay, put that in there, tape that down, get all of that in. All right, I think that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead now and get the bottom cover back on. Come on, I just want it slightly closer. Okay, I guess that will be like thumbnail here, now that we got it all cleaned up. Okay, bottom cover here. All right, where's that? I remember some, okay, there was some broken plastic, so that's fallen out completely. Okay, and we're gonna line this back up. Again, we do have to do this side first because the headphone jacks, so go at an angle and then make sure that they go into the place. It's a little tricky. Going at an angle, okay, get the clips in, under, come on. Let me, I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so it's a little tricky because you have to rotate it up to get that into place. There we go. Now you can see they're in, and then you can lower it down. Clip all around. All right, and we'll get all the screws back in, and that's pretty much it. We'll plug it in, make sure it's working, and we should be good to go. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. Again, if it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, again, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, again, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. And yeah, other than that, you're welcome to stay as I get all these screws back in. Again, we are going to plug it in, make sure it's working, and then that should be it. To see what I did. Oh, there's the charger. Okay. Last few screws. Last few screws. Okay. Good. It's helping pop the clips back in. Then after we get all the screws, you want to kind of flip it over and double check all the clips. Make sure that the body is all flush. Everything looks good. All right, last screw. Let's flip this over, take a look, and you can hear it clipped all the clips in on its own after just lifting it up, which is pretty interesting. Okay, you can double check the screws again, but they should be good. Let's go ahead now and power this thing back on, see what we got. Hopefully everything will be good, because that repair was a huge pain, and if it ends up not working and getting no pay or really low pay for this job, that will really suck. So hopefully that was the issue, because they said it was like a loose charging connection earlier, and the charge port did look bad. So alright, so let's plug that in and put the charger in now. I wonder if this is a 19.5, 7.7 amp. Does it say on here? Oh, okay, so this should be the original charger. Let's plug this in. Is there a charging light on here anywhere? There's a battery light. There you go. And you can see the battery light is on. Oh, it was on. What's going on? Oh, it's on. Okay. So it's solid on right now. I feel like this didn't clip in all the way. So let me see if I can get those side clips to go in right. There we go. Yeah, make sure all those clips go in right. They're not looking quite right. Oh, this one seems like maybe that's why the charging, they must have like pulled on it or something, because that's right where the charge port is. All right, so we'll plug this back in, and the charge light is blinking. Actually, right now it's solid white. Okay, so can you see that? It's solid white right now. Oh, nope, it turned off. I hope that's just like it's trying to charge and not a loose thing, because if that's the case, then it might be their charger's also bad. Huh, their charger might also be bad, because you can see how they bent this here. All right, let's power this on, and then let's see what we got. It's powering on. The battery light is staying solid, or maybe that just means it's fully charged when it turns off. Let's see. All right, hopefully it's just gonna turn on. There we go. Oops. Oh, did you see that? The MSI logo. Okay, it turned off. There you go. And it's booting up. So that should be pretty much all there is to it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. The battery light is staying on right now. Let's see if it shows down here. Sometimes it will show. Okay, so it does show in the plugged in battery icon. So I think we should be good. All right, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.